Did I not tell you 100 times, no, at least 500 times, not to contact me when I'm away on a business trip? So why are you messaging me? Seriously, are you okay in the head or just completely incapable of following simple instructions?
I'm sorry, I really am. I know you said not to, but this is important. It's urgent.
Urgent? Oh, that's rich. And what exactly could be so urgent that you think it justifies blowing up my phone now? I told you my travel dates weeks in advance. You knew I was leaving. You knew where I'd be and what I'd be doing. So what, this is your idea of some sick joke? You're doing this just to irritate me, aren't you?
No, it's not like that. Something really serious happened, and I just didn't know what else to do. Please, I need to talk to you. Just one call. This isn't something I can explain through a message.
I don't care. I told you to leave me alone while I'm away. And what do? You ignore me again. Do you even get how disrespectful that is? I'm out here working my ass off for you, trying to keep this family afloat, and this is what I come back to? More of your selfish, impulsive nonsense? You're useless. Absolutely useless. I swear if you pull something like this again, I'll divorce you on the spot.
Wait, what?
Did I stutter? I said if you ever disobey me again, if you go against my word one more time, I'm filing for divorce. Don't test me.
Why would it even come to that? I'm just trying to...
You don't try, you listen. A wife's job is to obey her husband, period. That's the bare minimum. If you can't even handle that, what good are ya? You really are dumb, aren't ya? Remember who saved your father's company from going bankrupt? Who stepped in, made the calls, negotiated the deals, and put that sinking ship back on the water?
You did.
Exactly. Me! I'm the reason your father still has a business, which means by extension, I own a piece of your entire family's dignity. So what does that make you, huh? It makes you indebted. You owe me. Your whole family owes me. So you don't get to raise your voice or interrupt my work or defy me in any way. Not after everything I've done.
I just wanted to talk.
Don't interrupt me again. I'm not done. Your father respects me more than you do. You know that, right? Whenever we talk, it's like we're on the same wavelength. He gets it. He knows how hard I work and how much I've done. Honestly, sometimes I wonder if he wishes he'd married me instead of handed me off to you. He probably thinks I deserve better. Hell, sometimes I think that too.
That's not fair.
Fair? Oh, now you want to talk about fairness? Here's what's fair. If you ever step out of line again, I'll divorce you. And I'll make sure you're the one blamed for the breakdown. I'll tell everyone how unstable and disrespectful you've been. How you've never supported me the way a wife should. I'll file under your name. You'll be the one at fault. You'll pay the alimony, the court fees, the shame. And you know what? I'll enjoy every second of watching you sink. I'll spin it so well your own parents will think you ruined everything. They'll side with me before they ever defend you.
You can't mean that.
Can't I? Don't act surprised. You knew exactly who I was when you married me. You knew I was driven, ambitious. I don't tolerate disobedience or disorder. So if you want to keep this marriage from crumbling into pieces, you'd better learn one thing. When I say don't call me during a business trip, you don't call. Not once, not ever. Got it?
Yes, I understand.
Good, you'd better. Don't think for a second that I won't follow through. Don't test how far I'm willing to go, because believe me, I'm already losing my patience. Do not message me again while I'm away. I don't care what kind of emergency you think you're dealing with. It's your problem. Figure it out. You're my wife, not my boss. You do as I say.
Yes, I will. I'm sorry.
Don't I'm sorry me, just listen. And next time, keep your damn mouth shut. Now go! And remember, you only get one warning.
I'll keep that in mind.
Good! Make sure you do!
Mom, Dan's company's in real trouble. I mean, serious trouble.
What's going on? I heard something about a takeover.
Yeah, I didn't want to believe it, but it's true. There's a company trying to acquire us, quietly, behind closed doors. Dan's been resisting it from behind the scenes, apparently, trying to block it legally and financially. But someone must have waited until he left on his business trip. It's like they planned this.
Oh no, this is going to get messy, isn't it?
The thing is, I don't even think Dan knows about the takeover yet.
What? Wait, what do you mean he doesn't know? He's the CEO, isn't he? He should have been the first to find out!
I know, but...
You've got to be kidding me. So he's completely ignoring your calls? And what about you, Selena? You just sit there letting him ignore you? Even if he was busy, you could have sent him a message. Something. Anything.
I know, you're right. But I needed to be sure of something first. I wanted to see if he'd actually answer my call during his trip. I needed to know what I was dealing with. But he didn't. Not once. Not even a text. And that says something, doesn't it?
Selena. Are you trying to say what I think you're saying? You think Dan's cheating on you?
I'm not accusing him directly, but there are just too many red flags lately. It's not just me. Some of the senior board members have been trying to reach him too. He's ignoring all of us. That's not normal, not for a CEO in the middle of a corporate emergency. Something doesn't feel right. I'm scared, not just for the company, but for what I might find out if I keep digging.
No, Selena. I'm scared for you. You've been putting in all this effort to keep that company stable, sacrificing your time, your sanity, your marriage. And now, at the most critical moment, Dan's off God knows where and might be cheating? That man doesn't deserve you. Why are you still with him? Have you thought about divorce?
Of course I've thought about it. Every time he talks down to me, threatens me, ignores me, I think about it. But he's made it clear I can't leave that easily.
What do you mean?
He told me that if I even try to divorce him, he'll make sure it's all pinned on me. That he'll twist everything and claim I'm at fault. He'll say I neglected him, abandoned the marriage. He said he'd make sure I pay the alimony. He even threatened to charge me for the financial support he's been providing.
That's insane! That's not love, that's blackmail! He's using your fear against you. My God, I should have never let you marry that man!
It wasn't your fault, Mom. At the time, it felt like the only option. Dad's company was collapsing. We had no investors left. No one wanted to touch it, and then Dan stepped in and offered help, but only if we were married.
And that's the part that's been killing me all these years, that your father would even consider something like that, selling off his daughter's future just to save face. I begged him not to go through with it. But he wouldn't listen. He was desperate, and Dan knew that. He took advantage of it. I should have stopped it. I should have done something. I'm so sorry, Selena.
No, Mom, don't apologize. I've had time to think about everything. What I gave up, what I gained, and honestly, this marriage has taught me a lot about the world, about myself, about how people can wear masks and hide behind money and status. It's made me stronger, even if it's also broken parts of me. So I won't say marrying Dan was a complete mistake, but there's something I need to say, something I've never said before, and I need you to really hear me.
Of course, I'm listening.
For the longest time, I thought I was the problem, that maybe I was too emotional, too sensitive, too demanding, that if I just worked harder, became more obedient, more agreeable, Dan would finally see me. But now I know. It was never about me not being enough. It was about him needing control. He married me because he wanted to own something valuable. He didn't love me. He loved the leverage I gave him.
Selena.
I know it sounds dramatic, but it's the truth. Dan didn't save Dad's company out of goodwill. He did it for power. He used me as the price tag, and I let him. I'm tired, Mom. I'm tired of being manipulated, tired of smiling through meetings where I'm spoken over, tired of pretending I don't hear the rumors swirling around about where Dan really goes on his business trips. I want my life back, not the version Dan allows me to have. Mine.
Then take it. You have more strength than you think, and you're not alone in this. If Dan wants to play dirty, then we'll fight clean and smart. Let him try to blame you. We'll get a lawyer, a damn good one. We'll bring every record, every message, every witness. And if your father tries to interfere, I'll deal with him myself.
I've already started compiling everything. Emails, phone logs, even statements from staff who've noticed his behavior. Quietly, carefully, because if I leave, I want it to be on my terms. No more fear, no more guilt. Just the truth, plain and sharp.
That's my girl. You're going to be okay, and I'm going to be here every step of the way.
Selena! You kept the whole acquisition thing from me? What the hell were you thinking? Do you have any idea what kind of mess you've created? You should have contacted me immediately!
Don't twist this around. You were the one who told me not to contact you while you were away, repeatedly. You didn't just say it, you yelled it at me before you left. And it's not just me. The board's been trying to reach you too, and you ignored every single one of them. So don't you dare act like you were blindsided.
That's not the damn point! This was an emergency! You should have found a way to reach me! Do you even know what using your initiative means? God, you're useless! You can't even handle a crisis! You've got no instincts, no flexibility!
So when I follow your instructions, I'm disobedient. And when I actually respect your boundary and keep quiet, I'm useless? Wow, that's rich. So what exactly do you want, Dan? A wife who reads your mind?
Don't you dare talk back to me!
I'm done walking on eggshells. I'm done letting you scream your way into always being right. You treat me like I'm some assistant you never asked for but can't fire. Except I can leave, Dan, and I will. You're still on your trip, aren't you? Another full week left? Then don't worry. You won't be hearing from me during that time. No calls, no messages, nothing. Exactly what you always wanted.
What the hell? You're cutting me off now? You think you could just ignore me?
I'm not ignoring you. I'm doing what you told me. 500 times, to be precise. Don't contact me unless I contact you first, remember? I'm just being the obedient wife you always wanted.
Damn it, Selena. Always got some smart-ass answer, don't ya? You really are a worthless excuse for a wife. You think I've got time to deal with your mood swings right now? Shut the hell up and do what you're told for once.
No, I won't. Not anymore. You don't get to talk to me like that. You don't get to call me names and expect me to stay quiet. I'm not afraid of you anymore, Dan. And if you think I've been clueless all this time, you're dead wrong.
Selena! Where the hell are you? I cut my trip short and came home early, and you're gone? What the hell is this? You left a signed divorce agreement on the damn kitchen table? Are you insane?
Oh, so your trip's over now? Then I guess it's okay to respond again, right? What am I thinking? I'm thinking I want a divorce. That's why I left. I figured you wouldn't want a worthless, disobedient, useless wife anymore. So, let's make it official.
You want a divorce? Are you kidding me right now?
What's wrong? You didn't like hearing it from me first? I guess that's the one thing your pride couldn't handle. Being dumped. Must be hard for someone like you to accept that the thing you thought you owned is walking away on her own terms.
You arrogant little... You think you could just walk out on me? Fine, you want a divorce? Be my guest. But don't think there won't be consequences. You'll regret this. I'll make damn sure you regret ever thinking you could leave me like that. You made me look like a fool, and for that, you'll pay. I'll ruin your reputation, your finances, everything you've built with my name. You think you've won? I'll bury you in court. You'll crawl back begging by the end of it.
Go ahead, try. But you know what, Dan? My life doesn't revolve around your threats anymore. You're not as powerful as you think you are. You underestimated me. You thought I'd stay quiet forever, didn't you? But I've been watching, listening, gathering every lie, every threat, every tantrum, and believe me, I've got the receipts. I've already spoken to a lawyer, and unlike you, I don't need to scream to win.
You're bluffing. You wouldn't dare.
You still don't get it. You think my silence meant submission. It didn't. It meant strategy. You've pushed too far, Dan. And now the woman you spent years trying to control is walking out. With evidence, with clarity, and with nothing to lose. So threaten all you want. Trash my name if it makes you feel powerful. But don't forget, you're not the only one who knows how to hit back. I'm not your puppet. I never was. You just mistook patience for weakness. And that's on you.
Hello, Bernard? It's Dan. I hope this isn't too much of a surprise, but Selena has suddenly said she wants a divorce. Honestly, I'm still reeling from the shock. I didn't expect this from her. But I've been hearing things. Apparently, she's been seeing someone else lately, a man outside the marriage. I hate to say something so painful, but she needs to face consequences for her behavior. As her father, I'd really appreciate it if you could speak with her, help her come to her senses. Naturally, I assume you'll support me in this?
Hello, Dan. This is Judy, Selena's mother. I had a feeling something like this might happen, so I borrowed my husband's phone before you got a chance to manipulate him. What an interesting little message you've written. You talk as if everything is Selena's fault, as if she suddenly turned into some kind of villain behind your back. How convenient for you.
Oh, Judy! Of course, I understand your instinct to defend your daughter, but I'm the one who's been hurt here. I'm the victim. Surely, as a parent, you wouldn't condone such behavior. Don't you think it's time for her to be corrected before this becomes even more damaging?
Dan, do not insult my intelligence. Do you know how many years I've spent raising that girl? You think I don't know her? You think I'd believe for 1 second that she'd go off and have an affair? Selena may be many things, but dishonest, disloyal, not a chance. So if you're going to accuse her of cheating, then you'd better show me some damn proof. Right here, right now.
Well, I mean, I don't technically have hard evidence at this moment, but there are rumors, indications. I have reasons to believe that...
So let me get this straight. You have no proof. You're just deciding she's guilty and then trying to shame her in front of her family to cover your own tracks. How dare you drag my daughter's name through the mud like that? You insulted her, and now you're insulting me.
Now, let's not get emotional. We can put aside the question of fault for a moment, but if this marriage does end, I want to be clear. I will be asking for the return of the support payments I gave. I don't make donations to strangers, you understand? If you don't want that, then maybe it's best you convince Selena to drop this idea of divorce.
Oh, so now you're the one trying to avoid divorce? That's interesting. Just a few moments ago, you were practically begging us to help discipline her.
I just want her to realize she made a mistake, to reflect. Look, between you and me, I don't actually want a divorce. Not if it can be avoided.
Oh, and why is that?
Well, the truth is, I'm not in love with her anymore. That's not what this is about. It's just, divorce looks bad. On paper. People talk, reputations get damaged. You see, your husband's company still does subcontracting work for my firm. It wouldn't look good for either of us if this got ugly. So from a business standpoint, let's not let this spiral. Help me keep her in line.
I see. So that's what this is really about. It's not love, it's not pain, it's optics. You want to keep your public image intact, your business untouched, and your control over my daughter unchallenged. You're not looking for resolution. You're trying to leash her back into submission.
That's not what I meant!
Don't try to walk it back now. You've shown your true face, Dan. You think you can use shame, guilt, and money to keep her trapped? You're no different from a man who ties a leash to a birdcage and calls it love. Let me tell you something. I am not like my husband. I will never offer up my daughter as a bargaining chip just because it's convenient. You may have twisted her world for a while, but you will not twist mine.
Excuse me? What's that supposed to mean?
It means I'm not the obedient little housewife you seem to think I am. And Selena, she learned from me. If you think women exist to serve men in silence, to nod and smile and obey without question, then you've been living in a fantasy, especially mothers. We're a different breed. A mother doesn't back down when her child is in danger. She rises. And if you think I'm going to sit back and let you control my daughter with threats and manipulation, you've got another thing coming.
What are you even talking about? What danger?
The danger of being trapped in a marriage that diminishes her. The danger of having her voice dismissed, her worth questioned, her independence stolen. You treat her like a possession. And I'm here to remind you she's a person with her own mind, her own will, and more strength than you ever gave her credit for.
You're blowing this out of proportion!
Am I? Well then, let's see how it plays out. Because I promise you this, you will not win. You wanted to break her. Instead, you lit a fire under the one woman in the world who will never let her fall again. You wanted her to regret walking away? Too late. She already regrets ever staying. And no, she won't be coming back. Not to you, not to this. So, make your threats. Rant to your lawyers. Pull your funding. She's free now. And trust me, we'll make sure she stays that way. Dan, I thought I should inform you of something before you hear it from someone else. As of this month, my husband and I have formally ended our marriage. We are divorced. Therefore, I'm no longer involved in his company's operations in any capacity. Going forward, I ask that you refrain from sending me any further business-related correspondence. Please direct all such matters to my former husband, who now handles them alone.
Wait, what? You got divorced?
Yes, that's correct. You sound shocked. Why is that? Or is it just hard to believe a woman like me would dare walk away from her husband? He was, how should I put it, a controlling, authoritarian man, much like someone else I know. Which is probably why you and he got along so well in the past.
You're telling me he was abusive?
Yes, emotionally. He ruled the house like a dictator. Everything had to go his way. I lived under that shadow for a long time, but I endured it for Selena's sake. I thought, no matter how flawed a man he was still her father. I believed it would be selfish of me to take that away from her. I convinced myself that a broken marriage was better than a broken family. So I stayed. I smiled. I tolerated. Until one day my daughter came to me. She said, I hated our house growing up. I thought it was normal until I got married myself. Now I know it wasn't. That's when it hit me. By staying in that toxic marriage, I didn't protect her. I trapped her. And worst of all, I taught her to tolerate the intolerable.
Still, don't you think divorce was going a bit far? I mean, men being a little strict, a little controlling, that was normal back then, wasn't it? Isn't this just, I don't know, a sign that you gave up too easily?
How interesting. You speak as if my endurance was the problem. As if a woman must prove her worth through suffering. Tell me something, Dan. Why is it that a relationship where one side must always do the enduring is considered healthy? What's normal about pain being the standard for women? No, the reason I divorced him wasn't just because of how he treated me. It was because of what he did to our daughter. Because he sold her out. Because he married her off to you.
Wait, hold on. That's not fair.
Isn't it? Do you think I don't know why that marriage was arranged in the first place? It was never about love. It was about business, appearances, money. He handed her over like a contract because he owed you. And she's been paying the price every day since.
I didn't force her into anything. It was a mutual agreement between families.
Don't pretend this was ever equal. Don't pretend you didn't see her struggling and look the other way. He offered his daughter like currency, and you accepted her like property. So no, I will not stay married to a man who can make such a deal without a second thought. Who could smile at dinner while watching his daughter lose her freedom inch by inch. There's no marriage left after that. Only a contract soaked in silence.
Okay, so you divorced him. But what about my situation? You said you're not involved in the company anymore, but the support money, Selena's support, it came from your family, didn't it? If we're getting divorced, shouldn't that be returned?
Ah, so we've come full circle. You still think this is a transaction, don't you? Well, let me be perfectly clear. If you want the company's money returned, take it up with the man who's still running it, my ex-husband. Go on, negotiate with him, but don't you dare come after my daughter. She doesn't owe you a single coin, not a debt, not a favor, not a future. She was never yours to own.
But I supported her! I paid for things! And now she just wants to walk away like I meant nothing?
Support given freely out of love doesn't come with a receipt. But let's not pretend this was love. Let's not pretend you gave her anything without expecting her silence in return. You've made your threats. You've pushed her. Now I'm telling you, if you dare come after her with financial demands, I will see you in court. I will file for her harassment. I will file for coercion. I will not hesitate. And I promise you, no judge will side with a man who treats women like debtors in his little empire of ego.
You can't be serious!
Watch me. You pushed her into a corner, thinking no one would stand by her. You didn't expect her to have anyone left, but she has me, and I've made peace with the fact that I stayed silent for too long. So now I speak. Touch her again, and I'll unleash every legal measure I can. Threaten her again, and I'll make sure you lose more than your pride. You wanted a quiet, obedient wife. Instead, you married a woman raised by someone who finally learned how to fight back.
What do you mean your husband's company went bankrupt?
I'm not sure what you expect me to say. I'm no longer involved in that company. Haven't been for a while now.
But I've been trying to call him all morning. His number just goes straight to voicemail. No reply, no updates, nothing. And you're telling me the company just collapsed out of nowhere?
To you, maybe it seems like it came out of nowhere. But no, this didn't happen overnight. The signs were there. The business had been falling apart for months, possibly even years. It was barely staying afloat. Honestly, it's a shame. If the subcontractors had held on just a little longer, they might have dodged the buyout. But then one of them folded at the worst possible time, and everything else came crashing down.
That's what makes no sense! Why now? Why at this moment?
Because I left.
What?
You heard me. The moment I stepped away, the company started unraveling. The truth is, your father never had the skills to run it. Not from the beginning. He didn't understand business. He pretended to. He sat in the boss's chair, played the part, made speeches. But everything behind the scenes, that was me. I handled logistics, client retention, finances, vendor relationships, crisis control, all of it. He just basked in the illusion of leadership. He made sure people saw him in charge, but he never was.
But the company doesn't just go bankrupt in a week! That's too fast!
Only if you think it was stable to begin with. He's always been reckless with money, Selena. He borrows without thinking, spends like there's no tomorrow, and calls it necessary investment. He doesn't believe in strategy, just gut feelings and false confidence. He once took out a massive loan without even telling me, claimed it was to expand operations. But the profits never came. They never do with people like him. You hand a burning building to someone who thinks smoke is just steam, and this is what you get.
Are you saying the business was always in trouble?
It was constantly teetering. We had brief moments where it looked stable, moments I worked hard to create. But it was all surface. The truth is, the company only held together because I made it work. And even then, I couldn't fix everything. Debt was piling up. Vendors were getting impatient. But of course, he kept a smile on his face, shaking hands, pretending like nothing was wrong. He knew that if the truth came out, you'd cut him off. So he did what he's always done best, deceive and delay.
This can't be happening! The company was our last safety net! If we lose it, if it gets bought out, I can't...
You're panicking about the buyout now? After everything that man did?
You don't understand! If the company gets bought out now, it means everything we did, everything I sacrificed, was for nothing!
You sacrificed too much already. And for what? A man who couldn't even keep the business afloat a single week without leaning on you or me? You want to know why things fell apart now? Because the person doing all the actual work, the one holding it together with spit and string, walked away. You can't build a house on sand, Dan. You can't hand a child a machine and expect it to run just because they say they know how.
But if it was that bad, why didn't you tell me sooner?
Because you were too busy defending him. Too busy telling him I was being dramatic. Too loyal to see what he was doing. Not just to the company, but to you. Do you know how many nights I stayed up running numbers? Do you know how many lies I had to clean up? How many suppliers I had to beg for extensions while your father played golf with investors? He wore a suit, but I carried the weight. And when I finally said I was done, he acted like I'd betrayed him, as if he had built something real.
This is a disaster! We're gonna lose everything! Everything!
No, he is losing everything, not we. I walked away from that company. I walked away from him. And now I'm walking away from this conversation, too.
Wait, you can't just leave like that! You were part of this for years! Don't you care what happens?
I cared too much, Dan. That was the problem. But now I finally understand. I was never the CEO. I was just the scaffolding holding up a man who wanted credit without effort. And I will no longer break my back propping up his hollow empire. So no, I won't be coming back. I'm not going to fix this. I'm not going to clean up this mess or make the phone calls or smooth it over so you and he can pretend everything's fine. I'm done being the unpaid, unthanked, unacknowledged workhorse behind his throne.
But, Judy, what do I do?
You do what I did. You stop waiting for someone else to clean up after him. You stop pretending your love for him will fix what's broken. You open your eyes, and then you walk. Because if you stay too long in a burning building, you don't just lose the furniture, you lose yourself. I won't let that happen to me anymore.
Honestly, Dan just won't quit. Keeps calling me, texting me like somehow that's gonna change anything. I've told him there's nothing left to discuss.
I'm sorry you're still dealing with him, and now I've dragged you into even more of this.
No, don't say that. If anything, I'm the one who dragged you into it. I'm the one who let it go on for so long. I should be the one apologizing for all the sleepless nights, the weight you carried just watching me endure all that. If I'd made this decision sooner, maybe you wouldn't have had to see so much. Maybe you could have just been a daughter, not someone trying to hold her mother together.
Mom, come on. I know why you stayed. You weren't just thinking about yourself. You were thinking about me. You wanted to make sure I'd be okay financially, emotionally. You didn't want a divorce to hurt me, and I get that. I really do. You didn't want me growing up with instability. But if anything, what I've seen, it's made me certain I won't end up like you two. I've learned what not to tolerate. I've learned what kind of love is just control in disguise. So don't apologize for staying. You gave me clarity. And that's more valuable than anything.
You're stronger than I ever was. You know that?
Of course I am. I'm your daughter. And you'd better believe I've got your backbone. Besides, we've got a lot to do now. No time for tears, right?
What the hell is this? Why am I getting served with divorce papers and a demand for alimony? You're the one who should be paying me!
Alimony is paid by the at-fault party, Dan. Do remind me, what exactly did I do wrong?
You made my life miserable! You disrespected me! Refused to obey me! You constantly argued and undermined my authority!
Is that so? Well then, by all means, present your evidence. Because I've spent this past week hiring an attorney, gathering documents, and preparing a very detailed case. And let's not forget, you cheated. So yes, it's only right that you're the one paying me compensation.
Cheated? Where the hell is that coming from?
Please don't insult my intelligence. You think I'm just some naive woman who wouldn't notice? You lied about going on a business trip and spent the entire week with your secretary. Do I need to remind you about all those calls you conveniently missed? Couldn't answer your phone because the background noise, the voices, would give you away.
That's nonsense! You're making wild accusations now!
No, I'm stating facts. And unlike you, I don't just talk, I prove. The day you stopped answering my calls, I hired a private investigator. They tracked everything. Your locations, the hotel, the woman, the dates. It's all documented, every step.
That's a gross invasion of privacy! How dare you!
You're the one who told me not to bother you during your important business trip. You shut me out while the company, my family's company, was in crisis. I had every reason to be concerned, and your reaction right now only confirms how guilty you are.
You're playing the victim like always, you manipulative witch!
No, Dan, I'm not playing anything. I am the victim. And so is the company my father built from the ground up. The company you ran into the ground while you were too busy sneaking around with your mistress. You ignored every warning, every message, every person trying to help. Your recklessness cost me everything. You destroyed a legacy, my legacy.
You didn't even try to stop it! You let the company get bought out! You abandoned me!
You mean like how you abandoned your responsibilities, your marriage, your daughter? You want to talk about abandonment, Dan? Try being in a marriage where you're invisible unless you're cleaning up someone else's disasters. Try holding together a company while your husband gambles away its future for ego and vanity.
Okay, fine. You want the truth? I had an affair, but what choice did I have?
Excuse me?
You think this was some fairy tale romance? You and I only got married because it was convenient. There was no love, no passion, no spark. So yeah, I found someone else, someone who appreciated me. What do you want me to say?
You don't need to say anything else. You've said more than enough. You're right. If there was no love, then we shouldn't have stayed together. But I didn't trap you, Dan. You chose to stay. You chose to pretend. You chose to lie and cheat and hide behind a fake smile while bleeding the company dry. If you wanted a mistress, you could have had one after leaving honorably. But instead, you stayed to leech off a legacy you never built. And now you want sympathy?
You think you're gonna come out of this looking like the saint? Newsflash, you're not perfect either!
No, I'm not. But I am honest, and I've never betrayed the people who counted on me. You're going to watch everything crumble because you were too arrogant to ask for help and too selfish to admit your failures. You've lost the company. You've lost your family. And soon, you'll lose the only shred of respect anyone ever had for you. Good luck trying to charm your way out of this one, Dan. Because love won't save you, and neither will lies.
What the hell is this? Why am I supposed to be removed from the CEO position? That makes no sense at all!
No matter how you look at it, it's inevitable. You were out having affairs while the company was on the verge of a hostile takeover. The board members kept trying to reach you, but you ignored every single call. After the executive meeting, they all unanimously agreed to remove you as CEO.
I don't accept this! But what's even more unbelievable is why you're the CEO now! This company belonged to my father! I'm his son! This is supposed to be my inheritance!
Yes, originally this company was your father's. That's why I agree it seems strange for me to be CEO. But your father himself specifically appointed me as his successor.
What? My father?
Yes, you may have forgotten, but you and I were married and worked together to support the company. Your father acknowledged my contributions. Also, you probably don't know this, but several influential factions within the company support me. That's why the board meeting votes were in my favor.
That can't be! Those factions must be bought! Money? Did you buy their loyalty?
Don't lump me together with you. I thought it was dangerous to keep you as CEO for the sake of the company. So I worked to bring those factions on board before things got this bad. I was hoping the what if wouldn't happen, but here we are.
This is unfair. I refuse to accept it. If an incompetent like you becomes CEO, this company is finished.
Is that so? At least under my leadership, the results will be better than when you were in charge.
What? What the hell? Why am I the one getting arrested? What did I do wrong? Having an affair isn't a crime?
No, having an affair isn't a crime, but the messages you sent me, those qualify as extortion. You sent clear threats that if I divorced you, I would be forced to pay a huge sum. Since no financial loss occurred, it's currently treated as an attempted extortion.
No! Wait, that was just heat of the moment! You know I wasn't serious!
Were you? You also pressured my parents. That's not serious. That's calculated.
I'm sorry, I won't say things like that anymore. Please, I'm begging you, forgive me. I've already tried to make amends, haven't I?
Make amends? Don't be ridiculous. You brought all this on yourself, losing the CEO position and the legal troubles. And even if you did make amends, our relationship would never return to what it was.
Why not? Let's try again! I'll change! I swear I will!
It's impossible. You know my background. I was raised in an abusive household. There's nothing sadder than growing up in a loveless home. You never loved me, did you? You said so yourself.
That was just...
It's not something you say casually. And I will never live with a man who has that kind of abusive streak. My family history proves it. I refuse to repeat my parents' mistakes. I'm going to live my own life, and you are not a part of it. Don't contact me again. Don't ever get in touch. Dan ended up getting arrested and sent to prison. As the company president, I couldn't keep employing a criminal, so I fired him immediately. After his release, I heard he's been working part-time jobs every day, from early morning until late at night, trying to pay me compensation. With no money, no steady work, and a heart worn down by hardship, even his usual charming facade has disappeared. Once his true nature is exposed, it's unlikely he'll find a full-time job. Meanwhile, I managed to keep the company afloat while he was behind bars, and after several years, we finally turned a profit. My father disappeared after going bankrupt, no longer tormenting me and my mother. Now, I live quietly with my divorced mother. I've caused her so much trouble over the years, so I'm determined to make it up to her and be a good daughter from here on out.